Hi there, I'm Namish Patel Owen, and you're listening to Live Your True Self, episode number 102. After 18 years doing corporate, in 2018 it became about doing me, doing what I love. Not that long ago, I too felt stuck, lost, and longing to be something more, asking myself, who am I anyway, and what's my purpose? Full of self-doubt and fear of failure, fast forward to this moment and you'll see a version of me that's true to myself, calm, confident and clear, even in the messiness. Inspired by Krishna's words in the Bhagavad Gita, the mind can be the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. So perspective is everything. No matter where you are on your spiritual journey as a high achiever, I'm here to guide you. Together we'll step out of your head, the busyness in your mind, and drop into your heart so that you too can awaken your true self and live life more meaningfully in this moment. Take a deep breath and let's connect within. Welcome back, lovely one. I'm super grateful you're here. If you're new to me and my work, thank you for being here. I'm your host, Namisha, mindset and meditation coach, yoga student, Bhagavad Gita student, and fellow spiritual being walking this journey of growth alongside you. Today's episode is close to my heart because it's not just about breathwork or meditation as tools, which I love. It's about the shift that happens within when we let breath and presence guide us. This is a simple shift, but it changes everything. Because as high achievers, we often rush into doing, sometimes into reacting, but what if we let the breath come first? Not just when we're stressed or overwhelmed or on our knees, but before taking the action, whatever that might be, like accessing conscious breathing before doing the doing. That's what we're exploring today with a story from my own personal experience, wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita, and 5 breathing practices that you can use to reconnect with your calm center anytime. So first, let me share a personal story that transformed my relationship with my breath. And before I do, it's worth saying that the breath is default. It is happening no matter what, right? Whilst we're alive, we are breathing and we don't even know it. You know, it's like blinking. It's just happening. Our brain and the breath is connected and we just breathe. But what I'm talking about is conscious breathing, is actually taking control of your breath and you guiding your breath, but then also letting your breath to guide you. So it goes from being a default habitual thing that's happening to something more powerful and an active tool that we can use as we live and grow and lead our lives. So back in 2013, we were blessed and I gave birth to my daughter, or our daughter, Naya. But I have to say, it was one of the toughest experiences of my life in terms of what I went through and just like feeling like a complete lack of control of what my body was doing, albeit my body's a miracle and super intuitive. But not just like tough in terms of the labor and the birth itself, but actually what came after. And I had some issues in the recovery, plus the overwhelm, the fear, the new baby, the breastfeeding, like all the other things that comes afterwards. And I didn't feel in control. I didn't feel prepared, even though like we went through NCT, which is the National Child Trust training and all the things that they prepare you for. But I was not prepared in the sense of like no one had really taught me through the breathing in a way that I understood, or in a way that was my go-to thing. There were so many other things we were taught and we learnt about, which seemed to just take more precedent than the breathing. And I didn't have the tools to soothe or support myself outside of, the medication and the interventions and all the assistance and what have you. No one really taught me how to breathe in a way that actually calmed my nervous system in a way that I could control. So that was experience number 1 of childbirth. Beautifully blessed with our lovely one, but honestly, trauma associated to that for sure. Fast forward to 2017, and we were blessed to be pregnant again, and this time with my son Shay. And at that time, just before or the build up to the labour and the delivery, I knew I had to find a different way, because obviously I had the first experience and it was super traumatic. And you hear of all these other stories of there's different ways. Now, it's not about comparing because everyone's experience is different, but I knew there had to be a better way for me. Thankfully, I discovered hypnobirthing, and honestly, it changed everything. I found out about it through my midwife. I went to one class by myself which was hosted at the hospital, and it was just what I needed, exactly at the time I needed. And this second time round, through the teachings and through conscious breathing, I was able to stay in control of my mind and my body like never before. I was so zen. I was like, I didn't even know who I was, to be honest with you. I think I surprised myself. I definitely surprised my husband, Steve. And I felt super connected to my body, to my baby, to my breath, to the present moment and what was actually happening. And in the end, I gave birth on 1 paracetamol and the power of my breath. It was so smooth and actually really quick that we didn't even have time or need to get into the pool, which we'd planned for. And I literally just breathed my way through and breathed him out. And as I say, Steve was just like, I cannot believe like who you were and how you did that on 1 paracetamol, and such calm, such zen, such control. And I'm so grateful. It was one of the most empowering experiences of my life. And that's when I realized that breath is not just for birth, right? It's not just for helping you deal with that type of thing, but actually it's for life. It's not just a stress relief tool. It's actually a living tool, a tool to use day in, day out. And we have access to it all the time, right? It comes with us everywhere. We have access to our breath 24/7. And now I have to say, like, I can't live without conscious breathing. And as I said to you, like, we breathe day in, day out. Like, yes, we're alive, so we're breathing. But what I'm talking about here is a level of depth when it comes to the breathing and doing it in a way where it's conscious. And since really this experience, it's my go-to line with the kids or with anyone really. And you will just hear me say, just breathe and breathe and breathe. And I'm just always saying that, like the kids have a meltdown and like the first thing I will say to them is breathe, because they're breathing, but they're not breathing. And the reason why I know they're not breathing is because they're in panic, they're in fight, flight or freeze. They're in a stress response. And when you just breathe, you're accessing calm. You're telling your body, you're telling your brain that all is well, I am safe, I am well. And that can come from a single conscious deep breath. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reminds us again and again, one who controls the breath controls the mind. One who controls the mind is steady in the self. So breath is prana, which is our life force energy, and it is radiating within and then, exhaled out. And, the prana that we all have, it's sacred. And when we learn to direct it consciously, we shift from like restlessness or overdoing or overwhelm and overactivation, stimulation, to a much more clear, calm, balanced, grounded, almost like harmonious energy. And it really is an internal shift that you have to experience it. If you haven't done already, you have to experience it. And this is like a sattvic state. And I've spoken a lot about sattvic. It's one of the three gunas. You have sattvic, rajas, and tamas. And the sattvic state of purity, clarity, peace, harmony, balance, that is the state where we make better decisions, where we are able to access much higher elevated thinking in order to inform our next step. We speak more kindly, we lead with awareness and with knowing versus from a place of ego and attachment. And when we are in this sattvic state of calm, we're rooted in our truth. And so breathing isn't something we do to calm down. It's how we stay calm to begin with. And I know that's what we all want, right? We all want peace and calm and groundedness, no matter what chaos we find ourselves in on the outside, right? That internal space gets to stay calm no matter what. That's on us, and we can access that. And for most of us, especially high achievers, and if you're here, I'm pretty sure you are, breath comes after the overwhelm, right? We might hit burnout or a meltdown or some sort of spin cycle, and then we might go to meditate, and then we might go to have a walk or create calm. Then we take a breath. But what if we reversed that? Right? What if you did the breath to begin with before taking action? What if we let breath come before the meeting, before the response, before the reply to the email, before taking the decision, before we pick up the phone in the morning, right? Before we jump into reaction, we just take a breath. This is the practice of living consciously and very much rooted as part of yoga life, which we talked at length about in last week's episode. And it's about leading ourselves before we can lead others, and really accessing the depth and the power of the breath. And from that space, we become like magnetic. We become just extraordinary. We access something within that will blow your mind, and like genuinely, this is the feeling, particularly from the pregnancy incident, the pregnancy experience, which was like, I genuinely blew my mind, even as I share it now, and I've shared it previously on the podcast. But when I think about who I was then and how I was able to navigate through that experience with the power of the breath, oh my God, it blows my mind. And you would hear, people like Wim Hof, mountaineers, even, Formula One drivers, like all sports people, like so many physical endurance related areas will know the power of the breath and will access the power of the breath, because really that is gold. That is everything. And we have access to it. So here's what I would invite you to think while you breathe. When you breathe consciously, whether it's 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, whatever it might be, I invite you to hold simple thoughts like, I'm not my thoughts. I am the space beneath them. Every breath is a fresh start. I trust the pause. And I love this one, which was like when you breathe in, you say to yourself, let it, and you breathe out, go. And it's just like let, and then it is like a mini hold, and go is the exhale. So let it go. And that is a thought, but also you can practice that with a breath. And this isn't about doing breath work perfectly. It's about letting breath be your guide, be your companion, be your anchor, be your teacher, be your tool, your go-to tool. And only you know how it feels for you. So there is no perfect way of doing it. There is just doing it and practicing it. With all things yoga, it's all about practice. So here are 5 simple ways to bring breath into your life, starting today, here and now. The easiest way to begin. Number 1, simple, conscious belly breath. Let's do this one right here, right now. So wherever you are, just take a moment. Well done for being here, and thank you for being here, but just bring yourself back and let me invite you to breathe in slowly. Feel your belly rise. Breathe out gently. Let your belly soften. Breathe in slowly. Feel your belly rise. Breathe out gently. Let your body soften. That is a simple, conscious belly breath. Do this for 1 to 2 minutes to instantly calm the nervous system. You can do it anytime, anywhere, no technique needed. You can just do it. If you want, you can place your hands on your belly, or your heart, or whatever feels good for you. You can do it standing, sitting, lying down. You can do it walking. You can do it on the phone, like whenever. Simple, conscious belly breath. Practice number 1. Easiest way to begin, right? And we've just done it. Number 2 is called yogic breath. And this is a 3-part deeper breath. And we can again practice this one together. So just relax your shoulders, relax your face, relax your jaw, relax your whole body. And here what we're doing is we breathe deeply into the belly, up to your chest, then your throat, and then you breathe out belly, chest, throat. So let's do that together. Ready? Breathe in, expand your belly up to your chest, to your throat. Breathe out fully, belly, chest, throat. And again, breathe in deeply into your belly, up to your chest. Feel your breath rise to your throat. And breathe out, let it go. Belly, chest, throat. This is yogic breath, and it creates full expansion and softens physical tension. And it's great to begin or even end the day. Just a few deep yogic breaths, and you can literally repeat those words: belly, chest, throat, belly, chest, throat. Breathe in, breathe out. Well done you. So that is practice number 2. Practice number 3 is called box breathing, and this is perfect for focus and calm when under pressure. And this one, so if you just imagine a box, square box, or it's just a square, 4 sides. And here what we do is we inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. And that is 1 round. So you're literally following the sides, 4 sides of the square round. So let's practice that together. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Pause at the top. 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. That is a box breath. And you can repeat that 3 to 5 times, rounds. And as I say, this is ideal before meetings, calls, or when you're feeling overwhelmed and just want to ground and just drop into your body. So if your mind is very busy and you know that like the thoughts are just on fire and busy. So if you want to just drop out of your head and into your body, this is a great one for you to tune into. And you'll literally just 4, 4, 4, 4. So breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. And that is 1 complete round. So that is box breathing. Number 4 breathwork practice is called skull shining breath, also known as Kapalabhati. And this is an energizing, deeply cleansing practice. And it involves short, active exhalations through the nose where you're contracting the belly. And the inhale happens naturally and gently, but the exhale is very short and sharp. And in this particular back practice, only the belly moves, and it's very controlled and quite a little bit of force, and has a technique, particularly when you're you're counting it. But it's great to awaken and activate in the morning and release any stagnant energy. Really great one. And this is one of my daily practices as part of my morning routine. Skull shining breath, Kapalbhati. Number 5 is alternate nostril breathing, also known as Anulom Vilom. And this is a powerful balancing breath, and it is beautiful for regulating the nervous system. And this one is one that you practice a bit more consciously as part of a dedicated practice. So you might do it for 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Certainly something I've been practicing is for 5 minutes. And I have to say, initially I found this one a little bit tricky to begin with, but the Kapalbhati was the one I found a little bit tricky to begin with. This one is also fine, but just takes a bit of coordination and alternating the nostrils with your thumb and your index finger using your right hand. But once you get into the rhythm, you can really feel the shift in energy, and you are literally just focusing on the counts. And here's how you practice Anulom Vilom, alternate nostril breathing. You gently close one nostril and inhale through the other nostril. Hold the breath by softly closing both nostrils, and then exhale through the opposite side, and then you repeat the cycle on the other side, and that would be a complete round. As I say, it is a simple practice, and it definitely calms anxiety. It balances the left and right side of the brain and clears any mental fog. And it's especially helpful before bed or anytime you feel emotionally overwhelmed. And for me, it's definitely the skull shining breath, Kapalbhati and Anulom Vilom. I did a lot, almost daily, as part of my yoga training, and I just continued it because it's just had such a profound effect in terms of my energy and calming my nervous system ahead of the day. And on the odd occasion when I haven't done it, I have really noticed the difference. For a step-by-step guide to both Kapalbhati and Anulom Vilom, listen to episode 89 of the podcast, where I guide you through them in real time so you can practice with me and get a feel for those particular practices, which are a little bit more advanced compared to the earlier ones that I shared. So they are my 5 simple ways to bring breath into your life. And you already started. That is the good news. We've already taken some conscious breaths. You just get to build on it. So I would invite you to set a gentle intention. Try one or all of them. And as I say, if you're not sure, go back and practice the ones we did together just here and now, or go to episode 89 and you can certainly practice skull shining breath and alternate nostril breathing. And notice how you feel before the practice, during the practice, and after. And this is very much about a body experience. It's not a head experience, because it does require a little bit of coordination and practice. And I promise you, you'll just get tuned into it. So give yourself grace, especially if you're new to these, and just allow yourself to do your best and pick up the technique as you go. And remember that these practices are always here for you. You can come back to them any time. In terms of the earlier ones we talked about, simple conscious breath, you can do that anytime. Yogic breath, you can do that anytime. And even box breathing, like you can just access that anytime, any place. And if you're wondering how and when to fit them into your day, here's my guidance. You don't need 20 minutes or half an hour, or, it's not another thing to add to your to-do list. You just need to remember the moments of awareness. You just need to remember the tool of the breath that you have access to in every moment. So here are some practical ways that you can incorporate them. Take a few deep breaths before you open your laptop, right? Before you start your day or your computer, whatever it might be, just take a few deep breaths. Do one complete round, so left and right side of alternate nostril breathing before getting into bed. So, the minute you're about to get into bed, just sit on the side of the bed and just do a complete round of alternate nostril breathing. You could take a soft belly breath while waiting or queuing, wherever that is, right? Wherever that's at the shops, sitting in traffic, waiting for the kiddos, whatever it might be, right? Just a few belly breaths to calm yourself down. Maybe you can try box breathing before any conversation or any meeting, or while you're walking. So it could be a walking practice. Let your breath be the pause that opens your heart and your day, not the afterthought when the day has already overwhelmed you and the busyness on the outside has already consumed you and you're deep in the rabbit hole. Let's not access breath then. Well, you can, but access the breath before you get there. Let your breath guide you, because I promise you will not go into the rabbit hole. You certainly won't go as deep into the rabbit hole. So these are all practices of what's called preparatory pranayama. And then there's deeper pranayama practices. And that's pranayama is gentle, conscious breathing to prepare the mind, body, and energy for whatever's next, right? Whatever it is that you're going into next, it prepares the mind, body, and energy for that. And for me, when I practice preparatory pranayama, I'm not just breathing, I'm returning to calm and who I truly am. And it's everything. It really is everything. And I wouldn't be without it. And even on days when I have been a bit rushed, if I can't do 5 minutes, for example, of alternate nostril breathing, I will do a couple of rounds, and that's okay. Like, something is better than nothing. So be kind to yourself, give yourself lots of grace, and give it a go. And take a moment to imagine who you'd be if conscious breath work, this preparatory pranayama, was a gentle thread woven throughout your day, and it was just something that you accessed without too much thought and without too much difficulty, and that it just brings calm, clarity, and connection to every moment. Just imagine who you'd be. Imagine how you'd show up. Imagine your energy. Imagine how you would access another level of being. This is available to you, my lovely one, all day, every day. And it starts with a simple conscious breath, which you have done and you can continue. So, as we wrap up, remember, we are not here to rush through life or to be on autopilot through life. Like, that is not what we're here for. We are here to live and learn and lead with presence, with clarity, with love, doing our duty with our mind and breath guiding us. So let your breath guide you back again and again to your calm center, to your grounded self, to the truth of who you are in this moment and every moment. So there you have it. Breathe first, then begin. This is a more conscious way to live and lead, and I really hope that it's something that you are able to access and that you give it a go. Let me know how you get on. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. The practices that I shared are available, as I say, on episode 89, and they're also on YouTube if you want to see me doing them and actually see in video form. So be sure to come and join me on YouTube, Yoga Life with Namisha, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't done already. Your support helps me grow this work and everything that I'm about. And if this episode spoke to you, I'd be truly grateful if you'd subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, or share it with someone who's ready to live life more meaningfully and tune into this yoga way of life. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next time. Until then, keep shining your light and may you always live your true self. Namaste. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Live Your True Self podcast. If you're ready to go deeper into your spiritual growth journey, visit me at namishapatelowen.com to learn more about my work and how I can guide you. And be sure you're signed up for Yoga Life Weekly, your love note to inspire who you're being while you're doing. And also subscribe to Yoga Life with Namisha over on YouTube for simple, practical meditations and teachings you can live by every day. It's an honor to guide you in reconnecting with who you truly are. Bye for now.